Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this morning's ceremony. And we gather here today to celebrate the ribbon cutting and grand opening of the 182nd Crash Fire Rescue Station. The host for today's ceremony is Colonel Dan McDonough, Commander of the 182nd Airlift Wing, and our special guests in attendance today include Representative for the 17th Congressional District, the Honorable Sherry Bustos, Representative for the 18th Congressional District, the Honorable Baron LaHood, representing Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth, Mr. Randy Sikowski, representing Illinois State Senator David Kaler, Ms. Jennifer Allison. First Tuesday of the month, so don't mind the silence. The Mayor of Bartonville, the Honorable Leon Ricca, the Assistant Adjutant General Air, Illinois National Guard, Major General Peter Nazamus, the Legislative Liaison for the Illinois Department of Military Affairs, Retired Major General William Cabetto, Chief of Staff, Illinois Department of Military Affairs, Retired Colonel James Smith, Jr., Commander of the 182nd Airlift Wing, Colonel Dan McDonough, Director of Airports, Metropolitan Airport Authority of Peoria, Mr. Gene Olson, President, AWBE Joint Venture 1, LLC, Ms. Jennifer Anderson. Thanks for coming. It's an exciting day. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, chiefs, commanders, first sergeants, wing members, and of course our firefighters, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this morning's ribbon cutting. This morning's ceremony is the culmination of effort by many individuals and organizations. In addition to those distinguished guests here with us today, I would be remiss if I failed to mention and thank some additional key members of our team that made significant contributions to the project. The steadfast support of these individuals and groups made this building a reality. Former Adjutant General, Major General Richard Hayes, current Adjutant General, Major General Richard Neely, former 182nd Airlift Wing Commander, Brigadier General William Robertson, former Mission Support Group Commander, Retired Colonel Corey Reed, Retired Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, and former Base Civil Engineer, Mindy Leach, former Base Civil Engineer, Captain Vincent Tripodi, former Deputy Base Civil Engineer, Austin Fittis, retired Senior Master Sergeant and current Base Contracting Officer, Missy Grice, Contracting Specialist, Ben Yetzen, Civil Engineer Facilities Manager, Senior Master Sergeant Ben Reed, the men and women of the 182nd Civil Engineer Squadron, the dedicated airmen of the 182nd Security Forces Squadron, the architectural and engineering team at Burns McDonald, and of course the construction firm AWBE Joint Venture 1 LLC. And of course, our elected officials and legislative partners, who are a shining example of what true bipartisan effort can accomplish. The men and women of the 182nd Airlift Wing Fire Department, thank you all for your support in helping to build our new home. Now, since they gave me the script, I get a few minutes to myself here, so I'm going to take a moment to tell you all about the 182nd Fire Department team here at the 182nd Airlift Wing. The mission statement of the 182nd Airlift Wing Fire Department is to provide quality fire protection, prevention, and life safety services to meet the needs of the 182nd Airlift Wing, Peoria International Airport, its tenants, and surrounding community partners. Now, we take pride in this statement, and most of you are likely familiar with the 24/7, 365-day mission that we perform here on a daily basis. What some may be less familiar with is our broader state, national, and international missions. We routinely seek out opportunities to make a difference. Currently, we fulfill a fully qualified, trained, and equipped 15-man urban search and rescue team here in FEMA Region 5. Our assets are postured to assist the state and country with support whenever the need arises. Like many other units, our team also deploys to austere locations all over the globe to support military operations with inside and outside the wire fire protection and emergency services. We also support active duty missions in various locations. Just in August of this year, we sent a 6-man team that spent 2 weeks at Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Now, as luck, or fate I guess, would have it, their arrival at Ramstein coincided with the first C-17 landings at Ramstein with Afghan evacuees. During the team's 14-day rotation, our firefighters responded to 76 medical emergencies and provided medical care to over 90 evacuees. 2 of our airmen even assisted with a post-delivery care of a woman who had given birth just prior to landing at Ramstein. Amazing. They were in the paper, got some photo credit on CBS News, and of course they had to bring in donuts. As the base fire chief, I obviously take great pride in the service our men and women provide to both our department and each of your communities. For years, our full-time firefighting staff has been training part-time National Guardsmen to be firefighters, and a majority of them have gone on to become first responders in their communities. The roots of many career firefighting professionals and volunteer firefighters begin here. Our current and former members work in departments such as Peoria, East Peoria, Galesburg, Springfield, Champaign, Taylorville, Rockford, Addison, Offutt Air Force Base, Joint Base Lewis McChord, Great Lakes Naval Station, Chicago. They work in neighboring states, and many are volunteers in the area. We are honored by that fact that our professionals are sought after and hired by departments all over the country. We believe it is a testament to the quality airmen that we develop here in the Illinois National Guard. This new firehouse will not only improve our capability and functionality, but it will also be the new home for the next generations of first responders. We will train and eventually spread throughout your communities. A new generation of firefighters, ready for any and every challenge, armed with our values: desire to serve, ability to perform, and courage to act. At this time, we'll now hear a few remarks from some of the individuals who helped make this facility a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, first I would like to introduce the United States Representative for the 17th District of Illinois, the Honorable Sherry Bustos.
Thank you, Chief, and congratulations to the firefighters here and the airmen. This is a good day. And Colonel McDonough, thank you for all you do for the Air Wing here and for the community. General, it's good to see you as well. You mentioned the word, Chief, bipartisanship. And it couldn't be a better time to mention that word because of everything that's going on in Washington right now. And for those of you in the audience, I know you don't go to a ton of ribbon cuttings or you know, where we're turning a shovel and just starting this. I remember when we were here for the groundbreaking. And but I want to mention that because you will see at many of these ribbon cuttings or the groundbreakings, you'll see Darren LaHood, a Republican, and I, a Democrat, at these together. In fact, the vast majority of what you will go to when it comes to any kind of ribbon cutting in Peoria or Peoria County, you will see both of us together. And when you look at this project, I think of kind of the ups and the downs that happened with this. We go back a number of years on making all of this happen. But we're in a pretty good position because Darren is well positioned in Washington, D.C. I serve on the Appropriations Committee where almost all of the federal funding goes through. And we were able to get, just a few years ago now, a $9 million number attached to this, which ended up being, I think, an $8 million project, close to an $8 million project. But we were able to do that. And that was even through those ups and downs. If you remember, we had a short chapter where the money for this project and many other projects was threatened to be diverted for building the wall. And yet we persevered and we made sure that that money stayed here. So I could not be prouder than to be your advocate day in and day out. We'll continue to be your advocate as long as I'm in this position. We know how important the 182nd Air Wing is to this community, to the men and women who work here. And with this firehouse, the safety of the men and women who go in and day out into the 182nd Air Wing. So it is really my honor to be able to be your advocate, and I will continue to do that through January 3rd of 2023, which will be my last day in this office. But I guarantee you I will continue to have my foot on the pedal and do everything we can to help you be successful. Thank you very much for having me.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to introduce the United States Representative for the 18th District of Illinois, the Honorable Darren LaHood.
Well, thanks, Chief Otto, and what a great day for Peoria. What a great day for the 182nd. Long time coming, and so I want to congratulate everybody for being here today, and obviously Colonel McDonough, congratulations on a great day for the 182nd and General Nazamis, and want to echo the comments of my colleague, Congresswoman Sherry Bustos, on the bipartisanship. This wouldn't have happened without the two of us working together. Go back 4 years ago when we were at this site and talked about the need for upgrading this fire station here. I can remember being across the street and seeing where literally members of the 182nd were sleeping on top of each other, could barely get trucks in and out of the fire station there. You had many different safety aspects there. I think the original fire station was built back in 1992. And so there was a need. And so Congresswoman Bustos and I got together And ironically, back then I was in the majority. Now Sherry's in the majority. But regardless of that, being in the minority, being in the majority, we continued to persevere in Washington, D.C., with Congresswoman Bustos being on the Appropriations Committee. But we knew the need that the 182nd had here. And today, as a result of that, and we were able to get it done. And when you think about the 182nd, literally where we're here at the airport, half of it is in Congresswoman Bustos' district, half is in my district. We've worked together on this, and today is the result of that. And this is a great day for the men and women of the 182nd in terms of what this brings in terms of safety, but also to the greater Peoria community, what it does for the airport here. I know Gene is here from the Peoria Airport. What this what this fire station is going to do to help, whether it's Bartonville, the greater Peoria area, and the greater airport here at Peoria. And you think about what happens here. It allows for the storage of all fire service equipment, safer air quality. I know they had big air quality issues across the street. Allows for separate sleeping facilities for those that serve in the fire station, as well as the ability to more quickly and efficiently exit and enter during emergency services that are needed. And so when you think about those things, it's a real positive here. And it also continues to build upon the great reputation that the 182nd has. Chief Otto talked about the operations, and I don't think people realize the impact the 182nd has all around the world in terms of helping our men and women, helping our members of the armed services, whether it's in places like Afghanistan or Iraq or many hot spots around the world. But it is indispensable, the work that is done here at the 182nd. This firehouse today adds to that. And I can't tell you how I'm looking forward to the next opportunity to work on the next project here at the 182nd and build off the success you have here. So again, congratulations. Thanks to the men and women of the 182nd for your service to this country, for what you do on a daily basis. We're proud of you and happy to be here today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you both for your support. We really appreciate it. My firefighters are very happy here in this new facility. So now I would like to introduce the Adjutant General for the Illinois National Guard, the Assistant Adjutant General for Illinois Air National Guard on the air side, Major General Peter Nizams.
Chief Otto, thank you. Congresswoman Bustos, Congressman LaHood, this would not be possible without your support. So we thank you, humbly thank you for being here today. It is, as we say, a perfect day in Peoria. I want to offer a few comments about, echo some of the things that you said about the facility. Obviously, the airmen and the folks that work here, this has been a long-term project. I think probably, Dan, 10 years at least in thought, if not longer, in spirit. But the facilities that we had were built, as you said, Congressman, in 1991-92 timeframe, different era. But let me, for those that a little bit of different perspective on this, we have about 90 Air National Guard wings across the United States. At the majority of those wings, we have a facility much like this, but it represents a partnership, and I'm sure Gene's going to talk to that. It represents a partnership with the community. These are medium-sized airports, and these airports bring in many requirements across the United States. And in many of these wings, the Air National Guard is the primary firefighting and rescue support for those airports, including Peoria. So for those that aren't aware, this is the only airport that is going to be at the Peoria. This is going to be the only firehouse that's going to be at the Peoria Airport that services both the Air National Guard, but arguably Chief Otto would probably tell you the majority of their calls Monday through Sunday are going to be across the terminal and all the partners that serve at this airport. So this is a unique partnership, a strong partnership across the country. And Peoria is one of those examples. So I want to thank all the engineering teams, everybody that helped put this project together. state-of-the-art facilities, good, safe facilities for our airmen to not only train in for their wartime taskings, for their deployment taskings, but to provide that vital support to the community. And Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a perfect segue. We heard the sirens go off not too long ago, but was Peoria not dispatched? Did you guys dispatch off this ramp when that tornado came through not too many years ago? And did that critical immediate response authority that we can do in the Air National Guard for our communities? So it couldn't have been a better segue. The last thing I'll say is we're in a firehouse. So is there a chili cook-off today going on here that we're going to? In November, bad timing. Well, maybe we'll come back for that. But anyway, thanks again to our distinguished guests that are here today and everybody that made this happen. And it's great to be here. It's great to cut the ribbon. Thank you.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's obvious how well he knows this. Our chili cook-offs are pretty legendary. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the Wing Commander of the 182nd Airlift Wing and host for today's ceremony, Colonel Danny McDonough.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Again, what a great day. This place is awesome. Thanks to you two in the front row. Thanks for what you've done for us. Talk a little bit about where we were before we got here, but I'm really excited for the people in uniform and anybody else that's here today to be able to walk through this facility and find out how nice this really is. I was talking to Chief yesterday and I said, so how are things going? He says, we are truly living the dream. From what they came from to where they are right now, this place really is awesome. So I can't wait to show it off. Like we mentioned, it's been about 15 years in the actual process of trying to get people's attention and then finally trying to work it through past the goal line. But again, we broke ground, about 2 years ago, and then 7 months later, we rolled right into COVID, which created its own problems and the issues that came with that. But we fought through that. But again, a lot of hard work. I just happened to be in the seat while this is happening as the wing commander, but a lot of work was done prior to me taking over. So again, can't thank you enough. And again, that bipartisan approach that you took to it, I think, had a lot to do with the success and why we're standing in this building today. So thanks again for that. But this is a really nice place. And if you think about the upgrade, the building we talked about, built 29 years ago, it was a great building designed for the F-16 mission that we had at the time. And little trucks like this one that we're looking at over here. And so when you think about back in those days, we had 8 full-time people that would work a shift, and when we were done flying, they'd go home. Well, we never had to think about sleeping or eating or any of the other issues that we have right now. So the facility is only occupied when we were flying. So today, like Chief talked about, we're here 24/7, 365. We employ 64 people here, 31 full-time, if we're at full strength on that, and then 33 part-time. So the old structure was able to hold the 4 trucks or the 4 apparatus that we have now, or that they had back in those days. Today we have 14. And again, the cool thing is what Chief says, it can all be put in here right now. So if you think about getting those vehicles, those big vehicles out of the existing structure, if you put those vehicles and you take the mirrors and put them right up against the doorway, you could have the width of my fist on either side of those mirrors to get them out that doorway. So they've got a requirement to meet any spot on this facility or any spot on the airfield within 3 minutes. And so if it takes a minute to get the vehicle out of the firehouse, then you've only got 2 minutes to get to where you got to go. So obviously, I saw it yesterday. I saw them leave in a hurry, and they can get out of here right quick and in a hurry. So again, huge upgrade for that. So the existing facility was 7,300 feet. This is 17,800 feet. You could put that existing firehouse in this bay right here that we're in and still have another 1,000 feet to spare. So huge. The old facility, no bunk rooms. Again, we were sleeping in training areas. We're sleeping in offices. We're sleeping in hallways. It did its job, but this is certainly an upgrade. The awful thing was they'd crank up the trucks and that diesel exhaust would go right into where they're sleeping. And so those carcinogens are in there causing all kinds of problems for our firefighters. The other thing is working through COVID and sleeping in the same facilities with no ability to separate themselves. So all those things are fixed by the new building. So lots of creature comforts with this. We've got 10 sleeping rooms. That in and of itself is worth the $7.9 million to keep everybody safe. We got the office buildings, the office areas were designed again for expansion, so they could sleep up to 16. If we go back to the old way that we operated in the old facility and people sleeping in our office, we could put 16 people to bed in this place. So that I got to read this one, that eliminates all existing NFPA violations that we had, which actually helped us get the authorization to build the firehouse, again, because we have write-ups that were saying the old one was unsafe. So all that infectious disease control measures have all been incorporated into this building now, so it's a much safer place for our firefighters to operate. And certainly that's going to help slow the infectious disease that we've been dealing with here with the COVID. So some of the other things they're talking about, it's got a great kitchen. You know, firefighters, you got to have that. Got an awesome dining area. You got a dedicated physical fitness spot for them. Heck, this thing's even got men's and ladies' rooms. The other one over there, we apparently we had to kind of share and knock on doors and make sure that there were no ladies in when the men had to come in and use the facility. So big upgrade for us there. We got equipment maintenance area, a decontamination area, a respiratory protective area, and then the state-of-the-art, again, what I was talking about, these hoses here, it's pretty cool. They crank up the vehicle, they start expelling all that exhaust gas, it goes up in through here, they shoot out of here, and those things just come snapping off, and all that exhaust is vented out into the atmosphere. We don't have to worry about our guys breathing it anymore, so fantastic for that. And then the last thing, we've got a state-of-the-art firefighter alert system, so they can be asleep in their sleeping quarters, and when this thing goes off, it tells them what kind of an operation they're going into, so they know on the way to the trucks how to dress and what kind of an operation. I probably screwed that up pretty bad, Chief, but close enough for a pilot perspective. All right. So, and then the other side of this is now the facility that was over there, now we're turned into our SURF-P, our chemical, biological, nuclear, our responders that are going out to some of our emergencies, some of our chemical responses. They've got a facility that they've been scattered all over this base, and so now they've got their own place again. So it's a huge win-win for everybody. So again, like we discussed, not just a big win for us here in the 182nd, but a win for everybody in the Peoria area. And I want to thank you all for being a part of it. And the longer I talk up here, the farther away we can get from cutting that ribbon. So let's go and get after it. Chief, back to you.
Okay, so we'll now proceed with the traditional ribbon cutting, signifying the official grand opening of the 182nd Airlift Wing Crash Fire Rescue Station.
So we'll do this 1, 2, and 3 will swing. 1, 2, 3.
Now we are officially open. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. We thank you for taking the time to join us and invite everyone to an open house and self-guided tour. So feel free to show yourselves around. Please make yourself at home and enjoy some light refreshments that we have in the kitchen. We have coffee and cookies and everything like that. My firefighters will be posted throughout the station. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them.